Port Washington. I'm a lifelong resident, so I would have lost my hometown in the redistricting. The problem isn't just redistricting. The Constitution says we need to reapportion our districts every 10 years, and what we do is we basically abide by our county charter. The problem is the drafters of the charter set up 3 conflicting sections. One said that we had to implement new district lines within 6 months of the 2010 census data becoming available. Then the second and third prong would be public hearings, bipartisan, to tweak those districts over the next 2 years, and that was the argument. What I think that we need to do going forward is that first of all, I would like to say that the courts did not say that the districts themselves were ill-drawn. They just said they couldn't be utilized now because they interpreted the charter slightly differently. So what I think we need to do, before we do anything else, so this will never happen again, we need to revise the charter to make it plain and simple language so that each section of how we reapportion our districts, which is a constitutional process that we cannot avoid, will not end up in this kind of confusion and results again.
The one thing we agree upon is that we need to amend the charter. What I don't agree upon is that the 3 provisions were conflicting. In point of fact, when you read them together, instead of parsing them and choosing the position you want to take based upon one provision and disregarding the rest, you didn't have to take that position, quite frankly. And we had a perfect example 10 years ago in the county legislature when this question was raised. Both the then presiding officer Judy Jacobs and the minority leader Peter Schmidt agreed to the interpretation that it was a 3-step process. At the beginning starts when the census is provided and the numbers are given, and then it goes into a process where you have a bipartisan commission and the lines have to be put in place 8 months before the following election, which made it 2003. It couldn't have been clearer, quite frankly. And this was a very selective, very technical effort to basically justify a power grab. A power grab that had to go all the way to the Court of Appeals in order to be overturned. That's the unfortunate thing of this. It was a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of energy, when we have far more important things to be doing in county government. When we have to worry about a $300 million deficit upcoming, and we're spending time worried about where are we running. And let's be honest about something here. Eric can allege that he wasn't there and he wouldn't have voted for it because he would have lost his hometown. The fact of the matter is, with the exception of one legislator, who's a registered Democrat, by the way, who sits with the Republicans, with the exception of one legislator, all Republican legislators voted in lockstep to make this happen. They would have disenfranchised Port Washington. They would have moved the lines, not because they had to, because they wanted to. And that's a power grab.